showing you how I'm setting up my tank for my brand new Gargoyle gecko, Pickle. Every time I get a new pet, I always really want to film a video like this, setting up the tank and everything, but usually I'm just in a big hurry to get the tank set up, and when you take the time to film and stuff, it does take a little bit longer, so I've never done it. So this time, since this should be the last pet I get for quite a while, I decided to go ahead and film it for you guys. So like I said, this is for my new Gargoyle gecko, Pickle. He is a baby right now. He's only 4 grams, so he's gonna be going in this 10-gallon aquarium. I just set this up on its side because they do need a taller tank rather than a longer tank. Once he gets bigger, he will be moving into a bigger Exo-Terra, but for now, a 10-gallon is going to work perfect since he's a baby. As you probably know, I have Harper, who is my baby Crested Gecko, right beside him. She's actually in a 12 by 12 by 18 Exo-Terra. I was gonna get one of those for Pickles also, but I didn't want to spend the money on another Exo-Terra that ultimately he's just gonna outgrow and I'm not gonna have a use for. So I decided to save a few bucks and I'm just using a 10-gallon. I did get a screen lid that has a little door on the front. That way I don't have to take the lid off and I can still access the cage and everything. So this is what we're gonna be building today. So I'm gonna try to go through this step by step. Like I said, I've never filmed one of these before. I'm gonna try not to get in the way of the camera too much. Also, I am setting this up for a baby Gargoyle gecko, but this setup could also be used for a Crested Gecko. So let's go ahead and get started. So hopefully this gives you a pretty good angle at the tank. I'm gonna start off with the substrate. Also, you can see Harper, my Crested Gecko, right there. For his substrate, I'm gonna be using a mixture of Eco-Earth and sphagnum moss just to help keep the humidity up. So I'm gonna start off, I already have a bag of Eco-Earth that is open from another pet, and I'm just gonna put a little layer in there. I'm not gonna put it too thick, probably just a couple inches or so, so that's probably gonna be enough. Try not to make too big of a mess. That's one thing I like about the Exo-Terras, they have that lip, so it's a little bit easier not to make a mess. So that's probably about, I would say maybe an inch and a half, and then I'm gonna put some sphagnum moss right on top. So this is just some moss by Zoo-Med. I'm just gonna take maybe a couple handfuls of this. That's probably enough. So I'm gonna break this up a little bit, and I'm actually going to mix this moss kind of into the Eco-Earth. That way it's just not like one separate layer of Eco-Earth and one separate layer of moss. I should have probably put the moss on the bottom to begin with. So now that there's a little bit of moss and Eco-Earth mixed together, I'm gonna go ahead and spray this down a little bit with treated water. I'm not gonna spray it down all the way right now because I'll do that later, setting it up too, but I just wanna get a nice base layer. That way it keeps the humidity in pretty well. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add the hardscape. The main piece I have is this big branch. You guys saw this in my Reptile Expo haul. I got this in the Oklahoma City Reptile Expo. I'm just gonna move this around a little bit, work with it, see where I want it. I think I kind of want it right in the middle. I always recommend having some big wood feature. In Harper, my Crested Gecko's cage, I have a piece of cork bark. Cork bark, grapevine, anything like that usually works pretty well. So now I just need to figure out how exactly I want to position this. So I think I got it where I want it. I like it kind of over on this corner. That way if he does want to come on the ground, since gargoyles do come on the ground more than cresteds, he does have a nice space back there and it's not taking up the whole bottom. So I think I have that just where I want it. I'm also going to be adding in this little rock hide by Zilla. This is my first gargoyle, but I did read that they like to go on the ground more than cresteds do. So I'm just going to put this in the back corner. That way if he does want to hide on the ground, he has a nice little spot. He is very tiny right now, only about 4 grams, so this will work for quite a while. I like to add in some type of vine to all of these cages. For this one, I just have this mossy vine by Exo-Terra. This is the small one, so I'm just gonna bend this around and play with it a little bit, kind of like the log, until I just have something nice and secure that gives him a lot of different options. If he wants to climb around, if he wants to sleep up on the vine, I just like to give them a lot of different options. So this looks a little funny, but I think I like it like this. I think it's gonna work out pretty well. The great thing about these vines is they're super easy to manipulate and move even after you have the cage set up. I just like this because it does give him a couple really flat areas to sit on if he wants, and then it does help him if he needs to climb up the side. Next, I'm going to be adding his greenery. I have a couple fake plants for him. This is a medium silk ficus by Exo-Terra. Since this is the bigger of the two, I think I'm going to put it in the back. and kind of leave the front a little bit more open. Let me see if I can get it down. I want to try to cover a big portion of the back of the cage. So I think something like this looks pretty good. And then I have one more plant. This is a little bit smaller plastic plant. I think I'm going to put it up a little bit closer to the front. We'll try it about right in here and see how I like it. I don't know if I like that. Maybe if I move it back a little bit. I feel like it's just crowding the front of the tank. So my camera actually died. Actually, all 3 of my camera batteries died, but I am back hopefully with enough power to get this finished. I only have a couple more things left. I did go ahead and move this plant back a little bit. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I think it looks a lot better. Next, I'm gonna be adding the food ledge. Now, right now, the only one I have is actually this one. It is by Pangea. This is actually the large though, and I do need a small. Over here, Harper has a small, which is a much better size. I did order that online and it will be here in 1 or 2 days. So by the time you guys are watching this video, I have a small one. But just for a couple days, I'm gonna go ahead and use this large one because it's the only thing I have available. So this is just a little magnetic ledge. I think I'm gonna put it a little bit lower, maybe right in here. And it just hooks on here with magnets that are super strong. So that also gives him kind of like a little hiding area back here, and then he can get to his food and stuff from these branches. And the last thing I'm going to be putting in is just this thermometer and humidity gauge. I am keeping him at room temperature, but as you know, humidity is super important for these type of geckos. So I think I'm going to place it over here on the left side of the tank just because it's not quite as full. I'm going to put it about halfway up since they do spend a lot of their time like in the middle of the cage, so I can get a good reading. So I'm just gonna stick it right here on the side. I will have to come in and look at it from this way, but it shouldn't be a big deal. So here is what the new Gargoyle Gecko's cage looks like all set up. I do think it looks pretty good. I'm sure I'll end up changing some stuff around and adding some more things in time after I see where he spends most of his time and what he really enjoys and what he doesn't use. But for now, I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and put the front on here, and then we will go grab Pickle and we'll put him in his new tank. So here is the tank with the front on. I went ahead and put the door on this side. That way I have easy access to the food dish. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it down a little bit more before I put him in here, just to make sure. I want his humidity pretty high right at first, and then overnight it will dry out. So that should be good for now. So let's go get Pickle and see if he likes his new cage. So here is my little baby Gargoyle Gecko Pickle. He is fired up right now, so he's really dark. Usually he's a lot lighter than this. He is a stripe, so I'm gonna go ahead and put him right in here. And of course he jumped right to the edge, so let me shut this door, make sure he doesn't escape. So the door is locked. And of course he's gonna stay right at the very front of the cage, so we're not gonna be able to see him very well. I will have some more videos coming up on him pretty soon though, once he gets settled in. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little Gargoyle Gecko cage setup. Hopefully if you were looking to set up a cage and if you had any questions, this helped you a little bit. I am still pretty new to them. I've only set up one Crested Gecko cage in the past, but I think it turned out pretty decent. It's nice and humid, he has some hides, and he has nice places to climb and to hide up high. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up if you did. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.